Hi, thanks for checking in. Another day, another video. And in today's one, I am going to be discussing my top 10 worst sequels for the ZX Spectrum. Now, this is completely subjective. It's my list. There are a couple of games on here that I know in discussion with other people that they actually quite enjoy. But these are sequels that I think are the worst, that I don't get any enjoyment out of playing whatsoever. Okay, so we're going to move into it. Straight off with Fist 2, The Legend Continues from Melbourne House. Follow up to the hugely successful The Way of the Exploding Fist, one of my favourite games of all time. Used to play it incessantly, especially in two-player with my mates. Now with Fist 2, they tried to make it a bit different, make it into some kind of explorable arcade adventure type game with the fighting elements thrown in, and it doesn't quite work. I don't think there's much enjoyment to be had in this game at all. I have spoken to people who do like it. I'm not one of them. I think they've removed all the fun out of it by taking away the one-on-one beat-em-up style, but at least, you know, they tried something different. Didn't work, but, you know, you've got to give them credit for trying, I suppose. Now, I know with the next game coming up that one or two people do like this one. I, however, don't. Fist Plus, Way of the Exploding Fist's second sequel. Now, after Fist 2, they decided to move back to the sort of just one-screen sort of beat-em-up style, get rid of the arcade adventure bits altogether, and they took on IK Plus's third fighter mechanic, and IK Plus does it much, much better. I didn't enjoy Fist Plus at all, but that's probably because I enjoyed IK Plus so much. But unfortunately, both Fist sequels make the list. Now, this not only is one of the worst sequels, it's also one of the worst games I've ever played on the Spectrum. Oriental Hero from Firebird. Follow up to Ninja Master, which was kind of like a Ninja Decathlon type thing. Now, where Ninja Master was, you know, had some modicum of playability about it, Oriental Hero doesn't. It's just fucking abysmal. No fun to be had from it whatsoever. It's too flipping difficult. The graphics are shit, and there's hardly any gameplay in it whatsoever. I'm glad I never paid even £2 for it back in the day, because it would have been £2 wasted. Abysmal game. But check it out if you must. So moving into the next one, Airwolf 2 from Elite. It was released as part of a hit pack sort of game compilation. I don't think it was ever released as standalone. Whilst I liked Airwolf, it's really, really tricky, and I've got a soft spot for it because I keep on trying to come back and get further and further into it, and I never do. But Airwolf 2 has got even less to do with the TV series than Airwolf 1 did, apart from having a picture of a helicopter on the loading screen, and it's just no fun to play at all. So deservedly makes this list. Now, if you loved the Spectrum version of Yeah Kung Fu, which I did, you will hate this. Yeah Kung Fu 2, I don't know what they were thinking of when they made this game. It is atrocious, and such a disappointment if you were a fan of the original game like I was. There's just no redeeming features to this at all. They've added some pointless side-scrolling sections to the game. The controls are absolutely hopeless, the keyboard controls. Get this, right? Try and work this out yourselves. U and M are up and down, H and K are left and right, and L is fire. And that's it. You can't redefine them. Absolutely abysmal. Now, this is the first time I've played this game for about 25 years, or even longer, I think, and all I'm doing is hammering L. That's all I'm doing, and I'm smashing the crap out of that idiot on the screen there. It's just woeful. Absolutely woeful. How, you know, someone must have thought when they were programming this, hang on a minute, this isn't very good, but they clearly didn't. It's utterly shite. This is going to perhaps cause a bit of controversy and some discussion. Cauldron 2. It's not in itself a bad game in terms of design, style, and the skill that's sort of gone into it, but it's just I just hate this game. I could never control it. That's my fault more than the game's, I know, but because of that, I don't like it, and it makes my worst sequels list. It's just you know, so frustrating. And this thing with pumpkins bouncing, when I dropped a pumpkin that I bought for my kids when I got it out of the boot of the car, it didn't bounce 10 foot in the air. It smashed into a gloopy mess. I don't like this game. I never have. I've tried to, but I don't. And I don't even know why I played it so that I could include it in the list. Next one is one of the two most disappointing sequels ever. It's a tie, really. Barbarian 2. I love Barbarian 1, even though it's not called Barbarian 1. I thought it was brilliant. One of my favourite games of the Spectrum era. I used to play it ceaselessly, and I was so looking forward to Barbarian 2. And when it came out, we were greeted with this. And now again, they've taken away the sort of one-on-one fighting mechanic and tried to turn it into some kind of arcade adventure. But the controls on this are, again, awful. You can't redefine them. You could redefine the keys in the first Barbarian game, and you know, some bizarre things such as, you know, pressing down actually makes your character turn around, and whatever. I'm getting angry talking about Barbarian 2, so gonna move on. Double Dragon 2. I've never played Double Dragon 1 on the Spectrum. I understand it's not very good. The sequel is not very good. You've got a main protagonist who sort of looks a bit like Private Walker from Dad's Army. That's the way it's always struck me. I have this game. I own this. I bought this from the Virgin Game Centre in Oxford Street in about 1990. I played it for about half an hour, and between then and recording this gameplay segment, whatever years have passed, what's that, 26 years since last play to first play. You know, it's just not very, very good at all. In fact, it's woeful and hopeless, and other words. So the penultimate one on the list, Impossible. Now, I'm not a great fan of the Monty Mole games anyway, but I appreciate their sort of position in history of like Spectrum classic games and game characters, etc. What they were trying to do with Impossible, I have no idea. They've taken what good bits there were out of the Monty Mole games and crammed them into this kind of stupid superhero thing. And again, the controls on it are abysmal. ZX left and right, OP, O and K up and down, and 0 to fire, and again, you can't redefine them. What's the point in that? It just makes it even more unplayable. Impossible makes the list. And finally, how do you top Renegade and target Renegade? Well, it's quite simple. You make it look better, you give it a brilliant soundtrack, and you include some fantastic gameplay that takes all the best bits out of those two prequels to this game. Except imagine forgot the last bit, gameplay. This looks nice, it sounds nice, but it plays like an absolute pig. It's not enjoyable at all. In fact, it's such a disappointing sequel. It's, you know, it makes me cry. No, not really. But yeah, Renegade 3, awful, awful, awful game. And that's it. Thanks ever so much. I hope you liked the video. Thanks ever so much for watching, and have a great day.